more towards the edge of your chair, right? Finding ourselves in mountain pose so that we feel really, to begin with, very centered, very balanced in our own bodies. And we do that by lining up in those nice directions, our joints, right? So you guys know now, after all this time, that we have our ankles in alignment with our knees, and draw that line to our hips, draw that line up to our shoulders, right? And then let our shoulders just kind of melt down. If you need help with that, just grab it and let them come down a bit, okay? Because again, that's where so much of our tenseness, our tightness is there. In order to, and that tense stress actually builds muscles, but it builds muscles maybe where we don't necessarily want that, right? We're just all tight right in here, and the muscles have just contracted for so long. So we want to make sure we can rest those, relax them, and have a little bit of flexibility and movement there. Okay, just close your eyes for a moment and get centered in your space at home or here, in our home away from home, how. As you breathe in and out, maybe set some type of a emotional or mental or heartfelt intention for your space today. Being kind to ourselves could be one of those. And also, if you want to put your heart out there to another person, we have Dr. White, who's in surgery as we are seated here. About a 2.5-hour procedure, so keeping him in mind possibly, or anyone else that you may want to share your vibrational energy with. Let's begin with some movement and stretching. Lift up, inhale. And this arm movement may just come up a little ways. Pay attention to where your shoulders are, okay? So lift up and then take your hands to your shoulders and let's pump and move our elbows forward and back as we take those shoulders and make circles with them. And maybe you're even feeling that right in your waistline, right, Josephine, in that waistline. And let's go ahead and reverse that back. And I think I forgot to mute you guys, so that's okay. If you have anything to say, go ahead, but just so you know, in case there's any burps or farts or anything like that, you know we're listening, unless you want to turn yourself on to mute, okay? But that's one thing I forgot to do. All right, my phone. And then let's pull those elbows down and then lift the elbows up again to your radius, right? Maybe you really feel an opening here, and then pull them down. Exhale, inhale, and exhale. Please pay attention to where your shoulders are, okay? And one might be here, all right? One might not go up as far, and that's all right because we've got these bodies that somehow place or time through our lives and through our situations that may have become a little bit asymmetrical. All right, back here. Now, the last time we took our arms all in the same circle. Now we're going to take one forward and one back. Right? Really kind of getting into that range of motion in the upper body. Huh?
For kayaking.
Yes. Oh, you always think of how these could be.
Well, I'll be
kayaking
used next month.
Yes. Oh, how fun. Yeah. So as Luann said, this is something, if any of you are kayakers, right? Let's go ahead and reverse that. And you're right. Yeah. It takes all of the muscles in our upper body for that. Our arms and our shoulders. And hopefully you're starting to warm up already. I am. And then let's go ahead and shake out our hands. Take them on down. And then from here, slide our hands down onto our knees and let's work on the flexibility of our spine. So let's go ahead and pull ourselves forward, open up into a cow, and exhale, curl and tuck into ourselves, into that cat position. Continue, guys, right here and there, opening up through heart on an inhale. closing yourself off into cat on an exhale. Keep on going. Remove the layer. Oh, yes, and let that breath be expressed too. And either in and out through your nose or in through your nose and out through your mouth, finding what that is for you. And what is that length of your breath? What is the depth of your breath? Let's do 2 more here. Good. And then sitting up straight and tall. Let's go ahead and take our hands on our thighs, right? Maybe in the middle of our thighs or stretched out a bit. It'll make a difference in the muscles that we're going to use, depending if we're stretched out or we're pulled back. So, because this is what we're going to do. We're going to take our hands and we're going to press down into our thighs. We're going to press so hard that we feel that up into our chest cavity. This will help all of us lift our breasts up 2 inches higher. Not really, but I do notice how mine are starting to like sag just a little bit more than they used to. I don't know about you guys. Press in there and let's acknowledge that we are working into our chest muscles here. Press down, exhale, release. Take a couple breaths. So to strengthen ourselves, you can lift weights. That's great. That Sit Strong class of Denise's is really good. You can also do isometrics like this too. Go ahead, if you had your hands extended, take them more into the center of your thigh. We're going to do this now. So my elbows are kind of pulled in. I'm going to press down solidly. My fingers open up. So just my palm that's really pressing down, okay? And maybe even pulling in my elbows into the side of my body. I'm going to resist here with that pressing downward. My chest kind of expands out. I'm really using my strength. You guys use it. Press, press, press. Keep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Whew. Release. All right, let's go ahead and take one hand to the opposite knee. Doesn't matter which one. And lift the other arm up, lengthen here. And again, it could be right here, all right? And then, or it can be here, or it can be on your hip, all right? Again, we're gonna go for the side body stretching. Doesn't matter what happens with our shoulder, all right? Let's go ahead and lean on over. So hand at hip, or hand extended. You guys can maybe even, those that want, can move in between the two and see the difference there. So just letting ourselves really open up here and taking this under shoulder a little bit more forward. I come into a twist here in my waist and I look up. Good. And then taking my body back up. Exhale, this hand comes down and shake out my hands. And let's take that opposite effect here. Yes, over to the opposite leg. And when I do that, I'm going to put weight there, but that doesn't mean that that knee caves in. I want to keep my feet centered, okay? And then the other hand comes to hip, comes to shoulder, comes up above. Do what your body says is right for you as you lean over. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Inhale really will lengthen us more. Exhale will let us come on down a little bit deeper. That looks great, you guys. Inhale, lengthen on up. And exhale, let's come down. All right, good. Let's go ahead, keep one knee forward. Take the other leg out onto your heel. Okay, so we're gonna start to lengthen out the back side. Just make sure we don't slide off those chairs, okay? So if you need to scoot yourself back, do that. And flex here if that feels okay for you. If not, you can go ahead and extend And you can come into more of an extension rather than a flexion. Or you might want to go back and forth, okay, from flexion to extension. And that will work the ankle in different ways. So again, the other knee staying forward, it's going to want to go out. I'm going to try to keep it forward. And from here, I'm going to take my hand onto my chair. And I'm going to lean my body weight over. Maybe my hand slides down the leg of that chair. Don't need to do anything with my arm. But if you want, you can add the arm or it can stay down, okay? And as we're doing this, we're going to lift just an inch off of that foot that's towards the ground, pointed or flexed. So you've moved from having less attention to the earth by just lifting that leg up. And then your hand comes down, you slide up. Good. Let's take our arms back here to our shoulders. Bring them forward, touch those elbows, take them out, bring them forward. And take your arms together, forearms together, thumbs cross, hands in prayer. And let's just take 2 circles in one direction. Feel that in your waist again, and 2 circles in the other direction. Rising up with our gaze, come into a little bit of a back bend here. And then releasing arms, let them come down. And let's switch out. So this leg that was extended is coming in, knee points forward towards you guys, okay? And the other comes out onto the heel or pointed, all right? Find out what feels right for you or switch back and forth and just see what the difference is there. All right, and then from here, we're gonna go ahead and take our hand to the chair seat or leg, and we start to lean our body over. So our weight is getting redistributed, right, to one side. So we have to kind of balance ourselves in a different way. Arm comes here, here, or extend it, right? And again, I'm putting energy into that leg. When we're working on our balance, they're going to hear me say the tighter our bodies are, the lighter they can be. We can balance more. Go ahead and lift that foot up off the ground, putting strength into your leg, finding that nice opening in the side of your body. Maybe gazing up and letting that upper shoulder pull back just a bit so your heart can expand. And we're breathing, right? And then foot comes down, sliding ourselves up with support. Inhale and exhale. Take it on down. Good. Bring that leg in. Let's go ahead and open up. We're going to start now building ourselves up from the ground a little bit more. I'm going to back up so you guys will be able to see me in Zoom land. And hopefully I didn't back up too much. So take our feet out, just like Shelley there, with toes out, heels in, preparing for our goddess pose, which is a really strengthening pose for our lower body. And we're going to strengthen it just a little bit more today too, okay? So go ahead and slide your hands towards your knees, keeping those legs nicely open there. I'm gonna lean my body forward so that just I'm barely connected to the chair, not much, okay? And then bring myself back, paying attention to the weight distribution in my body. Bring myself back, forward again, forward, forward. And now press into your feet and lift your seat off the seat, maybe just an inch. Okay. So we're leaning forward. Notice the weight distribution here. Feet are totally connected to the ground. Come on back slowly and make sure that chair is there. Yeah, good, Shelley. And bring yourself upright. It's like, yeah, it didn't go anywhere, I hope. And let's do that again. Come forward. Pressing into our feet, lift our seats off the seat. And then begin to redistribute that weight, bringing the torso back. so that you are more perpendicular to the ground, right? And we're gonna have our legs in that goddess pose. And then we're going to lift our arms just to side as we lengthen the legs. And then take ourselves back down to wherever our hands tap or touch our legs, okay? Inhale, back on up. Take it down on your exhale. Lengthen here, feel your heart, the center of your body being opened up there, okay? 2 more, you guys. Good, I hear good breaths here. Exhales and inhales. Of course, I'm going to breathe through a mask, so it's a little bit more challenging. Right, you guys? And exhale down. Now go ahead, lift up your left arm up or to here, again, depending on your shoulder, okay? And take your weight over to one side. Lift onto the ball of that opposite foot. Okay, you guys feel that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, take the foot down. Bring yourself back into here. Let's let those legs be happy and long. Inhale, either to here, to here, to here, or to here. And exhale, let's take it down. And then begin to lean yourself over this way. And you come down.
No, we have to do this on this one.
And then lift onto the ball of that opposite foot. Arm is here or at your waist, okay? And I'm gonna keep saying that so you guys know that those are all options, right? And then foot comes down, body comes back, arms come out, lift on up, inhale. And exhale, hands come down. Good. And now we're gonna go into a seasonal pose, and that is scarecrow. Lift your arms up, bend down, okay? And then let's go ahead and squat on down and find our upper body doing whatever it needs to scare those crows away, okay? Yeah. Kind of like seaweed asana here, or scarecrow asana. Yeah. And reach on up. Keeping our hands and arms like this, go ahead and pulse up. Only to what feels right for your shoulders. But we should be feeling this in our triceps. All right, another thing that can strengthen us without, we can have weights too. Like I said, I didn't say it today, but I said in one of our first classes, if you guys want to have a little hand weights, and the next time I'll have them available for you guys, you can use them here and you can add to this. Or as I'm doing, I'm just making my hands into fists as I come up, and that kind of ignites those muscles a little bit more.
He says, imagine kettlebells.
Yeah, imagine kettlebells. Yes, yes, that's a good way to put it. I don't like kettlebells, but yes. Let's go ahead. I think kettlebells are destroying lower backs.
Oh.
Not this way necessarily, but I've seen people like do this with them, you know, and they have no core strength and all of that. So, yeah, just kind of, yeah, no, I mean, it's okay. But, and go ahead and take yourself and do a little back and forth. Again, distribute that weight in a little different way and taking ourselves into a little bit of padding of the backside. Good. And then go ahead and lengthen your legs and take your hips left and right. We're going to get ready for a little bit of cha-cha or merengue or salsa here. So let's let those hips be ready for that. Bend into the knees a little bit, and let's take those hips for some rotations. Okay, go ahead and circle them around. And right now we have our feet planted, right? So we're feeling pretty balanced, although we're noticing that shift in our weight and reverse, going around in the other way. Right, so we're not standing in a mountain pose where everything's well balanced and nice there. All right, now from here, let's go ahead, take weight into one foot, take our hip over in that direction, let that leg lengthen, and then just pop it up and take it down, okay? And come on over here, let that leg lengthen, pop it up, put it down, yeah. Good, come back into a little squat. Come over, one leg, pop it up, place it down. Good. One more time over here, pop it up, place it down. Good, and then let's just be giant steps here, okay? If you want to add arms, you can either do opposite or you can do same. So we're just getting into more strengthening, also a little bit of cardio, right? And balance, right? I'm lifting up my body. I'm shifting my weight. Yeah, good. And we're just letting ourselves go. Good. Nice. And then let's do some figure eights with these hips. All right, so we come over and around, we make a little circle with one, the other comes forward, pull it back. And this is one of those kind of common moves in belly dance, right? The figure eights, takes a lot of coordination, takes a lot in our hips. And let's try and reverse that pattern. Yeah, I know, that's where it's like, okay, reverse that pattern. Let me see, was I even working in a pattern before? And how can I reverse it? There you go. All right, so let's go ahead and do a little bit of freeform little dance, and then we're gonna come into using the chair for some balance, okay? You guys can see me, you guys can see me. You can step in front of your mats. All right, so
Floor is very slippery, that's.
oh,
fine.
okay, well then come onto your mat, you can move the chair off. That
Yeah, I
works
think I'm
too.
gonna do that.
Whatever you guys wanna do there.
Except that's what I have.
You were on the carpet,
With the socks or without it, the carpet is really.
really? Yeah. All
You-
right. So again, we don't have any music, but we're just gonna move. So to begin with, let's just move those hips. Let's just pick up our feet one at a time. Yeah. And let the hips are heavy, right? So when we move them to one side, we're redistributing weight, right? But we're also working this waist, the waistline, Josephine, right? And I can pick up my foot all the way. I can just come to my toe or the ball of my foot, and that shifts my weight as well, okay? You can add your little snapping of your fingers if you want. You can have that music going in your head. We've got Luann going to Mexico pretty soon. She's gonna hear all kinds of this music. All right, so let's do a little bit of salsa. And it doesn't matter really, like the count or whatever. Make sure you have a little bit more room, maybe Shelly in front of your mat. So you might move up a little bit. So we're gonna just, it's a one, we take our weight forward, right? It's one, kind of lift that back foot up just a bit as I move forward. Come back, 2, 3, and then I have a hold in the center, okay? And then it's 5, move back, maybe pick my foot up, place it down, 6, and 7, and hold. All right, so it's 1, body forward, pick your foot up, 2, place it down, and into the center, 3, back, lift the foot up, place it down, come back to center, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. Hard to do slow. 5, 6, 7. Shift that body weight forward. Shift that body weight back. Move the hips a little. Move them a lot. Shift the body weight forward. Shift it back. Notice we come back to the center, almost like a mountain, right? 1, 2, 3. Looks good, you guys. 5, 6, 7.
Mambo.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's do it. One more set. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. All right. And now let's just take one foot forward, take the other one off. If you need a chair, take that chair. We're going to get to that in a bit. Put that foot back down, come back to center. The other foot that was lifted before comes back. We move our body weight, we distribute it backwards. We're bent into the knee, and then we lift that front foot up. And maybe you're lifting it like this. And we come back here, bring it back to center. That's basically, those are your steps. And then you just can add. So now we're going to take it to the side, okay? So it's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Okay, same count. So 1, 2, 3, back to the center. 5, 6, 7, back to the center. 1, move the hips. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Feel your weight distributing. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So if we just keep our body locked, centered, right? 1, 2, 1. See, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. We can do that. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. And you can do that. Or you can get into getting those hips and moving them. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Good. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Good. Now, just like we did before, take it over to one side. Let's hold it to a bent knee and see if we can pick that foot up just a bit. All right, can we pick it up? Can we hold it up? And let it come back down, back almost into that goddess. Bring the foot back to center. Come on over, bend, lean, and pick that foot up. Maybe we're just going like this, like a dog, right? And back down. Okay, okay. All right, before we move on, let's combine those. So we're gonna do 6 sets, forward and back, 6 sets, left and right, okay? Yeah, you ready, salsa queens? Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. And now you can get into the shimmy at the top of your body. 2, do your arms, get into your hair. You can do so much to be who you want to be in this. Let's move it to the side. Do, do, do. You guys have all seen those Dancing with the Stars, right?
Oh, yeah.
All the beauty that can be done with our bodies. 1, 2, 3. Just keep thinking. 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Yes, the wind. 5, 6, and 7. Yes. Woo! All right. And then let's just pick up our feet. So just to slow our heart rates down, this is where you might lose seeing me, but you may see the others. We're going to just take a walk around the room, toe, heel to toe, okay? So that's going to center us back into the earth. It's going to center our breath back into homeostasis, right? So just go ahead and begin. And take your arms and use them as tools to help you with your balance. Use your gaze, right? You don't want to look straight down at your feet. Maybe you're looking at an angled forward. When you feel more confident, you lift your gaze so that you're directly looking in front of you. Okay. Come back into your breath, to your heart rate. Maybe when you feel really extra confident, you start to move your arms. And when you start to take those in opposite asymmetrical ways, you'll really feel that challenge in the balance there. But only going there if you feel you got it good with your gaze forward. Something we can do to just slow our pace of life down when we're at home, when we're in a hurry, and we can practice our balance this way. Because we're not meant to walk heel to toe. We're meant to walk with our heels and our feet at about hips distance. That's how we were created, in that form, in that balance. That's why mountain pose is such a really good pose to begin in before we delve into a lot of the balancing poses that yoga brings to us. All right, let's take it backwards now, okay? So we're gonna go backwards now, okay? Can you guys hear me? We're gonna go backwards, all right? So again, use your hands to assist.
You still slide straight ahead, kind of.
Yeah. Or at an angle down, but don't look straight down, because for me, that's really off balancing. But find where you're able to maintain that heel to toe. And take your time in your transitions. You know, if you think about any time we've fallen, right? Anytime we've fallen might have been because we were in a hurry. We didn't take time to transition, right? For instance, Pam, right? Getting out of bed in the dark, probably in your cabin. Didn't take time maybe to transition, you know? And I always look back and think, oh gosh, why didn't I just do it? Because I didn't take the time, you know? And then once you have a good fall, you start to remind yourself, or maybe it's a mild car accident that we were in a hurry.
I had one of those after the fall.
Oh, no. Oh my gosh. But look at you, here you are. Well, to tell the story.
Sometimes.
All right, now let's stay where you are and take that front foot that's behind you and point it forward. Okay, so just take it and point it the toe forward, slide and make an arc all the way around, and then bring that foot back to your heel. So like we would have done maybe in a ballet class. We're making, yes, an arc. Can you show them the way what I'm talking about there? Can they see you?
Oh, you.
Yeah.
So you.
Yeah. So what we're doing now, just go ahead and explain.
Circle you like that,
Yeah. And bring it on back. Yes, good.
then circle the next one.
Mhm.
Look at them.
Yeah.
Can't give you a hug from here.
Yes. So we're getting back here.
This is when shoes are a pain in the butt.
Yeah, but you know what? It's good, like I think you said, Shelley, to experiment because most of our life we are in shoes, right? So. Or maybe
Not when
not.
I'm at home.
Okay, well, that's good. Then at home, practices without your shoes. Okay. All right. Now, go ahead and stop where you're at. And Shelley, I might need you to show them what we're gonna do next. So go ahead and now kind of face a different way, because we're gonna be going here, so let's all face inward. And we're going to do what they call grapevine. You know grapevine?
Mhm.
Yes, so maybe you can explain that, but we're going to take one foot out, the other comes behind, the other comes out, the other one comes forward.
Oh,
Yeah, and you can take that slow or you can take it fast. All right, so we're doing grapevine, okay? So one foot comes out, the other goes across, come here, take it back, all right? So that's what we're doing, and we're just gonna go around the room one time, and you can go as fast or slow as you want with grapevine. But again, it's that taking our body weight and working into the hips, working into the waist, right? You can take it all the way up to your upper body, right? And we do those beautiful waist circles, and let's reverse and go in the opposite way, okay? Oh, and that's harder, let me see.
it is.
Ooh, wait a minute. There we go. Okay, I couldn't do it in the opposite way. All right, let's go ahead and find our chairs, and let's get to the back of the tall end of your chair. Make sure that your chair is on a surface that's not moving, right? So here we've got these extra little mats underneath us. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn mine this way just so they can see a little bit better. Whew. And I'm feeling like we got a little bit of aerobic in too.
Good.
Cardio in, at least. Maybe not aerobic because it wasn't 20 minutes. All right, so you guys can see and they can see. Good. All right, so let's get into a little bit of practice with some balancing using the chair. Make sure you guys, when we're balancing on the chair, we're not pulling back, right? Because that will definitely take us all the way back. And the chair will be on top of us, and we don't want that. So, but we're pressing down. And I'm gonna step my body all the way back. And I'm gonna feel that length in my spine. We've done this a lot in our chair yoga class. Have your feet about not mats distance, but hips distance. Let your spine lengthen here. Let yourself feel like your muscles in the back of your legs and in your glutes are stretching here as well. And now, slide one foot farther back onto the toe. Stay there, or start to lift that toe off the ground and flex and point a few times here. You don't need to come very high, okay? Flex and point, and take some circles with that ankle in one direction and in the other. Good, and then lift it maybe just a bit higher, no higher than your hip, and then set that foot back down, bend into the standing leg, bring the feet together, find your long spine and your long legs again. Find your breath. Good. And now the foot that moved back stays planted. The opposite one comes back to the toe or maybe to the ball of the foot. Find where you feel stable. And maybe that's enough. But if you want, you can go ahead and lift the foot off the ground an inch or two and point and flex through that foot. Or keep the foot grounded and just keep feeling yourself into being on the toe. All right. A few circles with the ankle if you've lifted your foot off the ground. If not, stay with where your balance is telling you, reversing that movement there. Foot comes down, bend into both knees. Still keep your back nice and long, straight, but knees are bent. High on the balls of your feet. All right. And then feet come down. Let's walk up towards the back of your chair. And from here, let's take an opposite approach here, interlace, press down, open heart, open up, whole chest, come into this nice gaze up, opening up through our throat, taking our heart and let it expand. And then bringing ourselves back up to straight. Let's go ahead and switch now to the low side of our chair. So we're going to practice our balancing in a high lunge, okay? Some of you that practice lunges, you may feel like you're not going to need to use the chair at all, but we're going to all start with the chair, okay? So from here, let's go ahead, facing the chair, bend into your knees, lift your arms up, inhale. Keep a strong core, arms come out, exhale, straight spine, tailbone back, hands on the top of your chair, okay? And then I'm going to slide my left foot back, come onto the ball of that back foot. This is where the shoes might really get in the way, shall we? I don't know, we'll see.
Okay.
And so you're on the ball of that back foot, bend into the front knee. So it's right above your ankle. So you might need to move your foot. You know, if your knee went past the ankle, pull it back, have it, and so that's right on top there. So feel yourself on the ball of that back foot. Press back through the heel. And then come up onto more of the ball of your foot, almost to the toes. Feel that pressing into the earth. And then take it back through the heel. It's not coming to the ground, but you can feel that energy through the heel. And then roll it up to the toes, right? Really strong leg here. Feel that in your hip flexor. Take it on back, all right? And now from here, I'm going to leave my right hand on the chair. I'm going to lift my left arm up, either into cactus, onto hip, or take it on up. Keep myself low, feel myself strengthening as I balance. That hand comes down. The other one comes to hip, shoulder, or raise it on up. Find your breath here, you guys. I know this is challenging because we're building muscles here, we're strengthening. Arm comes down and stay right here. Hands are both on the chair. Any of you that want to try to lift both arms up or bring them to your hips or bring them to your shoulders, and you're welcome to do that. And then hands back and slide that front foot back to the back and find yourself in a modified down dog here. Ears are by your biceps. This is where down dog feels really restorative, really restful. When we first practiced down dog, it's like, how could this ever be restful? But today, right now, in this place in time, it is restful. All right, let's switch that out. Let's take the right foot forward, bend into the knee, the back foot slides back, or whatever your opposite foot is, you guys. I started with my left. So now my right foot's forward and I'm looking at that right knee. Or did I do this side? Oh, I did this side.
We did what you said.
That's when you guys are saying, no, Julie, no. Left knee bends, right leg comes back. And just feel that, you guys, just feel into that first before we do anything else. Your hands are solidly on the chair. Your heel is pushing backwards, right? And then bring yourself, keep this knee bent, but just come onto as much of your toes as you can. And you'll feel that more here in that front right hip. And then let yourself weight back into your heel. Yes, good. Let's do that 2 more times. lift onto toes, chest comes upward, and take it back, exhale. Una vez más, bring yourselves way high onto those toes, and then back into the heel. Good. My left hand is going to stay down, my right one's going to lift onto hip, onto shoulder, rising up. Find where that is for you. Take 2 breaths here. Your breaths will steady your mind, steady your heart and your emotions. Take that hand down, lift the other one up. Lengthen. And again, that hand can be on the hip because you're practicing balance here. Both hands down, stay right there. Anybody that wants to try, both hands up or to shoulders or to hips, feel free. Hands down. Lengthen that back, front leg back. Come into down dog. Walk that dog out. Bend into your knees. Come on and off your heels like we were doing a little bit of merengue. Good. And then walk yourself up towards that chair. Bend into your knees. Rise on. Exhale. Hold on into cactus. Open up through your heart. Inhale up. Exhale. And comes down. All right. So you guys are going to work on the wall. I'll show you what we're going to do. You guys out there can do a couple different things, okay? You can work on a wall and do what I'm going to show. Or what we're going to be practicing is half moon. So you can do it a few ways, all right? We're going to work on the wall, but you can also practice half moon with one block. And this is only for people that have practiced half moon before, okay? And you would take that block down and start to open up. Outside foot starts to rise up, arm rises, okay? You can practice with one block. That is for people that are used to doing that, okay? Or you can take your chair. You face the chair on the side, with your leg on the side. Your hand comes down to the chair, the foot closest to the chair, the toes point in the direction of the back of the chair, okay? You take your other leg out. You start to put weight into both hands on the chair, letting that leg come up, keeping both hands there. When and if you feel like it, you can lift the other hand to your hip, all right? Or you just keep hands down and keep practicing lifting that leg up, okay? So you guys do that. You guys come on over and we're going to, I'll show you what we're gonna do. We just need 2 of you to bring your chairs up because one of you can use this one. And we're gonna have the wall to help us. So what we'll be doing is we'll have, yeah, I think you better bring the mat to make sure you're not gonna slide away. So you guys are practicing either any of those, okay, the block or that, or if you have a wall, all right, this is what we're gonna do at the wall. And the wall is probably the most supportive. So let me show them, and then I'm gonna show you guys, then you guys will practice it. And somebody will be taking this one, Shelley. You can take this one, okay? So I'm gonna have one leg up against, pretty much my hip up against the wall, all right? My leg might not be, but my hip is. My hand's gonna come down and we'll have to separate these a little bit. And then I'm going to take my back to the wall, let my leg slide up and my arm slide up, or bring it here or keep it here. And maybe this is where I am, okay? But this is very protective. And you'll feel like you're really getting back.
I feel further away, right?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. There you go. And I'll lead you guys through that.
What is this leg doing?
And let me move you just a little bit forward here. There we go. Okay, so you all should have enough room now. Thank you, Pam. Let me move that out of your way. Dr. White's little advertisement.
I'd like to go up that high.
Okay, that's okay. So I'm gonna show you here, all right? And so, yes, so that hip, yeah, is gonna be facing your hips towards this part of the chair. Oh, no, facing, there you go. Yeah, and this foot, good. And then start to take your hands, both hands down to the chair. Good. And then just start to bring that outside leg back. Let it try to reach the wall with your other hip.
Should I let go of this hand?
And you can let go of that other hand. And you can put it right here so that you don't have to hinge on your shoulder. And you can flex into this foot. Okay. Yeah. Okay, put this hand here, okay? Take that back just a little bit farther. You don't have to lift it. Just if you can take it back a bit more, keep your hand, yeah, right there, good. And there you are, okay? So that will, yes. And no problem, you can't lift the leg. Come on, up and down on the ball of your foot. Okay. And practice that, okay? Yes, and let this head just find itself right there. It doesn't matter how high that leg goes. Yeah, you feel as much support on your back with the wall. And flex into that foot if that's comfortable. So pull the toes back towards you. So once you practice one side, you guys practice the other side, okay? So go to the other side and you're either again doing this, right? You're doing that with the block, or you're doing this with the chair, okay? Or you're up against the wall and you feel like all of you are totally supported there.
You have to turn the chair around.
Then you have to turn the chair around, yeah. Practice the other side. I love how the wall really gives me that support. Okay, Luann, you're gonna want to come over and turn the chair. See, no, sorry, you're right. I'm totally wrong.
You already did it wrong and not turned it.
Here, you got it. Yeah. And then you start to bring your spine and your hip back. Yes, good. And it doesn't matter how high that leg gets. You're practicing your balance and you're strengthening this, right? You've got weight bearing.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Did I get you? No.
No, you're good.
You're good.
Hey, you got your leg up.
I can move this over and down too. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, it's because you trust it.
Feel free to
And
let
you're letting this support you.
Okay. It
Yeah.
could also be the opposite leg, one leg.
It could be,
better than the
yes,
other.
it certainly could be. And I think also it's just it's a weird combination, right? You've not done it before. See if you can flex into that foot, yes. And that gives a little more energy. Yeah, if that's appropriate. Yeah, look at that, Shel. That is a
Wow.
Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Hand can stay on hip, hand can come to shoulder, hand can reach up. Yes, good. Doesn't that feel good? And supported, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then just slowly bend into the standing leg and bring the other foot down and find yourself in holding onto the chair just like you are, Pam, and walk yourself back. Find yourself in that expressive down dog. Good. Yes. Whew. Take a couple breaths there. How'd you guys do out there in Zoom land? Did you figure out some way to work both sides? Okay, good. Either with block or chair or wall. Okay, good. Nice. All right, and then bringing ourselves up. And then just go ahead and turn your chairs this way, or go ahead and come to a closure. Get you guys your blankets. Shall we look right there? Okay. Breathe.
I'm sitting on it, I hope that's all right.
Yes, that's what we want to do. Yep, go ahead and sit back into your chairs. So take a seat, you guys. I'm gonna sit next to Shelley. All right, good. Yeah, and it's fun. See, it's, I know we're not like in the same room together, but it feels like there's a nice connection here. Yes, we can hug. All right, so let's go ahead and just sit with those straight spines. You guys have done a lot today. There's been a lot of some challenging things. But it's important for you to practice some of these things continually through the week, okay? And if any of you want the handouts that I have, let me know, and I will get them to you. Take your hands, slide them to your knees, and let's just do 4 sets of cow and cat. Your own breath. Sitting up straight, tall. Inner legs push away. Take yourself and gaze upward. And take yourself over with a flat spine. Let yourself lower, hands supporting you. Let your heavy head bowing down. Bringing yourself up 1 vertebrae at a time, like a raggedy and doll. Bringing yourself into that well-balanced pose, seated in mountain pose. And taking hands to heart center. Honor the place in ourselves where that universe dwells. Honor that place in each other where the universe also is finding its home. Or when we find each other's special place of love and joy and peace and happiness, and we connect in that heart-to-heart manner. We find each other as sisters in this beautiful world that surrounds us. From our hearts to yours. Ours here in person to yours in Zoom land. Namaste.